Ryan Boyle, Mitch Belisle, Jimmy Vlahakis, guest number 2, baby.
Yep, excited to be here.
Long time listener, first time guest.
Exactly. Been listening for months out here in the office, so glad to be here.
West Point grad.
Yes.
Former Army officer, and now big time Army lacrosse fan. Jimmy,
He's got the hat to boot. There you go.
What is on tap this weekend for the Black Knights?
Yeah, we got the big Army-Navy game coming up. Down in Annapolis, enemy territory, as they say.
Is that what you guys? Is that what you say? Like the week of?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. But yeah, no, excited to see this year's group out there. I mean, I think Coach Alberici's done a tremendous job with this team. They've got 22 seniors, and they're rolling right now. Big win over UNC. Finally got a quality win, according to these guys. But excited to see him. Both these teams bring their. This is the biggest game of the year for both of them. No matter who else is on the schedule, this is the one game you kind of circle at the beginning of the year, and I think I like our chances this weekend.
So the old adage, like you treat every game just like the next game. How is it different? Is it like an emotional thing? Is it a preparation thing? Is there stuff like in the locker room, on campus? Like how does like this game being different kind of manifest itself?
Yeah, I mean, beat Navy as a at least when we were there as a freshman. Every time you're walking by someone, an upperclassman, you say beat Navy. Beat Navy is ingrained in the campus, and it's something that's part of going to the academy. And this game in particular is one where you're going to get, no matter what the resume looks like to date for this year. It doesn't matter. Throw all the records out. It's going to be an even game. And I remember, at least while I was there, Coach Emmer used to show us. I forget what year of the game this was, but there was one year, I believe in the early '90s, where there was 3 minutes. The first 3 minutes of the game was just guys. I don't think anyone picked up the ball off the face-off. It was just like guys crushing each other and getting knocked over, going after ground balls. It was just 3 minutes of like hard contact. Guys getting knocked down.
Did you see the John Carroll Boys Latin clip from this week? Same thing, like different mentality, different but same clip, just hit. So
yeah, no, so we used to watch that, get pumped up for this game. But it's a huge game. I mean, there's an award at Army, at least there was when I was there, a Memorial Saber, Ray Enner's Memorial Saber. Whoever picks up the most ground balls in this game wins that award.
Really? In this game specifically?
Actual saber?
Yes. Yeah,
and you keep it in the locker room, or you bring it home?
It's yours.
Whatever you chop vegetables.
Yeah.
Sword fighting.
It just kind of, I think, symbolizes kind of the grit of this game and the toughness, and whoever comes out with the most GBs kind of gets that.
That rivalry, for me, it's like Princeton, Syracuse, those rivalry games, you like grow to hate the opponent, and then you get to know them afterwards. And obviously with the armed services, you probably got to know a lot of Navy guys. Does that rivalry like still exist, or do you like, you're like, oh, actually that guy's kind of similar to us, or like I know that guy?
Yeah, no, it's a rivalry. I think it's a lot of mutual respect, and I had dinner with drinks out with Chris Debbins, who was a Navy defender who actually I think guarded me a little bit, and
Rec Specs, no?
Yeah. Rec Specs. He's a coach with 3D Garden State, and it was like.
Is he a Springfield guy? Springfield, New Jersey?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he works at the gym. He's an F45 guy too.
Does he wear Rec Specs in the gym?
He does not. No, he doesn't.
But yeah, I mean, I think like for me, I graduated in 2002, which is a little bit of a while ago now. But September 11th was my senior year. So they always say kind of, they're your enemies on the field and your brothers in arms kind of once you graduate, and that was especially true for us as we were kind of graduating in that time in a time of war, and would actually be brothers in arms with these guys in actual combat down the road. So it was, I think, took on a little bit of a new meaning after that, and was great. So
You mentioned going into enemy territory, so the team's heading down to Annapolis. You obviously played in these games home and away. The football game, meanwhile, is neutral site.
yeah.
Would you ever want the lacrosse game to transition to being a neutral site, or do you like kind of the home and away dynamic, or would like the neutral site be kind of a
I enjoyed the home and away aspect. I loved playing at Navy actually, and the stadium there. I think they always had a lot more people. I think it's more of a lacrosse area.
Marine Corps is a
So-
great setup, and
so it's a great,
good community
great
involvement
stadium.
there.
Annapolis loves their
Yeah.
cadets.
So we'd go down there, and there'd be
Midshipmen.
8 to 10,000 at the game, which was a lot for us back then. I think at Army, my senior year was the Army-Navy game broke the record at Army for the most people ever at a game, which was like 4,500. And so going down to Navy and playing in front of twice that was always exciting.
What do we get? We got some cool Trilogy connections in this game. Evan Plunkett, leading scorer for Army right now. He's a Few Traces South kid, so coached him up back in the day when he was just a little guy. What's your prediction here? We got to get the take on the Trilogy head honcho's thoughts.
Yeah, I got Army by 4 here. But,
What's the spread?
I'm not sure.
I think it's -5.5.
Army's getting 5.5.
I think so.
Yeah.
Trying to bring it up.
So
It's taking
you're
forever.
technically, if you were betting, you'd be betting for Navy if you think Army's going to win by 4.
I guess so. I didn't even know you could bet on it. I think Army's coming in with a really senior heavy group this year, and they're clicking right now, and I know they're not going to let down this game. So they're going to ride those seniors. Jackson Eicher, an Episcopal High School graduate, former spring break attendee,
That's right.
is leading the way for Army, and he's crushing it. But looking forward to seeing those guys play this weekend.
We will salute the Army-Navy game.
Yeah, well, you vested interest.
I
You've
did.
got, your dad,
That's right.
Army alum. My dad, Coast Guard, so we'll go with the boats. I'll be the lone one cheering for.
Don't.
Actually, yeah, that's.
No, he didn't go to Navy. Just join us.
He did do a semester at Navy. He did like an exchange program. So I'm gonna go.
All right,
against
let's
you.
just all be-
No. You need a counterweight. We need a little counterweight here. I'm cheering.
All right,
for the-
fine.
I'm
Are you,
cheering for the
willing,
midshipmen.
are you willing to be a centaur for a day? And if you lose, and
I will
centaur,
row a boat to the office.
if you're gonna take the Navy side, we'll take the Army. It's gonna be
Another big
pretty good.
game.
Yeah,
Another big
I
game this
do.
weekend.
I do have. We focused on Jimmy, but yeah, my dad went to West Point, so certainly that's the other program I kind of cheer for.
And it's hard not to root for Army. I think they've been
Yes.
just getting better and better, and now they're really
Jabarici's the
surging.
best. But we got another big one.
Yeah.
Involves-
Cornell Big
involves
Red
your stupid team.
getting close to home on Long Island.
Nothing from Andrew on that. I felt
Sorry.
it's fine. But yeah, top 5 matchup.
1 versus 4 right now. So Cornell trying to defend that number 1 ranking, the one that doesn't matter until the very end of the season. But they had their hands full against Brown this past weekend. I watched a little bit of it.
That was such a Cornell line.
It was a very, very Brown game, just slugging it out in the rain.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of my matchups with Dave Madeira. Just wouldn't go away, just hanging around.
Well, how do you feel about Cuse coming off a big win? They're loaded on offense. Obviously, I like now you see kind of more and more social media posts about kind of how they tightened up things defensively under John Aderna, who's now the new assistant coach of the Boston Cannons. Just that also got announced. Just kind of that PLL thread, but tighten things up defensively, and they got a lot of offensive firepower. Obviously, you guys, ton of offensive firepower. Also a defense that doesn't really maybe get talked about it much. So I think this is like one of those games, when you look at it on paper, you're like, well, this is going to be a high-scoring affair. And I feel like whenever that happens, whenever that's the narrative, like that never happens.
Like 8-7.
You know what I mean?
Although last year, if you recall, was an insane game.
That
I was
was
down
bad
in
shit.
New Orleans watching it,
Yeah.
on my phone, walking to grab dinner and
Yeah.
running back, be like, I got to get to the internet. It's overtime, and we watch it with the whole family. But I think both of these teams thrive on energy
Yeah.
and they're like run producers where it's like they go on these runs because they score, they get the juice, they get the momentum, and then
make
like
it take it at the
Spolina and
Yeah.
Deere will make just circus plays, or CJ Kirst just goes off, and then
Yeah.
Michael Long scores a couple big goals. So both teams, I think, have the ability to pull 4 or 5 goals ahead, and then on the other side can come back from those
Yeah.
deficits. So it might be a high-scoring affair, but I think it's going to be close no matter what.
Or is
And
it the Dome or Ithaca?
no, it's in Long Island. It's
Oh, that's
it's
right.
at
Yeah,
Mitchell
yeah,
Field.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this one is coming to the island, which I think, I mean, it's going to be a packed house. I don't know. Weather doesn't look superior, but I think that plays in our favor given the Ithaca
That's
Ithaca
true.
weather as opposed to the Dome.
It's so gross. You're like,
Our kind of
bring
weather.
us.
Our kind of weather, baby. That's what we always say. Make it cold, rainy,
Gross.
maybe a little snow mixed in, some sleet.
Yeah.
Our kind of weather. So, I think it's going to be like a 14-12, 14-13 game is my prediction. But I
Yeah.
think huge crowd. It's going to be a show for the fans. I think the Spolina family is probably going to have about 600 people in the stands.
Yeah.
The Kirsts will
They'll-
probably bring all New Jersey.
All New
so
Jersey. Yep.
we'll have a big old New Jersey tri-state.
Give us
reunion.
one guy, right? You talk about the headliners. I feel like whenever these games kind of unfold, the other thing is you focus on the top superstars, and then there's like that guy that kind of like sneaks in and makes like the play or two that you're like, didn't see that one coming. Who-
Yeah, for me, Ryan Waldman is the guy for Cornell. He actually came into the Trilogy office last year. I don't know if you remember, they do that externship program, had
Yeah.
lunch with him. He's a Westfield guy, and he was an attackman in high school, one of the best attackmen at Westfield, has kind of transitioned to like a hybrid. Sometimes he'll play fourth attack, sometimes he'll play on that first or second midfield line, and he just scores some big-time goals and makes a lot of little plays. He's not a big guy. He's maybe 5'9", 5'8", but just always seems to find himself open, has a nose for the net, because everyone else on that offense is pretty well-known commodity. You've got Goldstein's doing his thing. Michael Long, I think, really is the engine that makes them go.
You think they put Dwan on him, or you got to go Dwan on Kurz?
I think you got to go 1v1.
Yeah.
Lefty, best versus
even if
best.
it's lefty on lefty, just doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah, you as a defender, I always I wanted to cover the best guy.
Yeah.
You want that responsibility.
So you're watching the friendly confines of the Belial
household.
The Belial Seder.
Checking it out. Yeah, exactly. It'll be the Seder celebration of hopefully the big red prevailing, but going to be a good one. Going to be a good one on Long Island, and certainly, the good and bad of these top versus top matchups is you're not going to really fall too far in the rankings, but getting those wins is massive for postseason seeding. We talked about the initial way too early bracket look and some head scratchers there.
It's also just like why.
Yeah,
It's just why.
So, Princeton Tigers right up in the mix. Cornell right up in the mix. Army right up in the mix. This office is a happy place.
Little mini preview in terms of PLL draft. I think obviously so much is made about CJ Kirst, number 1 overall pick, and I almost a foregone conclusion. I think the guy that I think is already has really high stock, but a lot of teams are going to be eyeing him up even more as a guy you look at like Sam English, midfielder for Syracuse, two-way ability. That's the prototype that so many PLL teams look for, is the flexibility and the versatility. Can you check kind of multiple boxes with a limited roster size? Do you have a guy that can do a lot of things well? You look at his kind of former Tiger, then Syracuse brethren, both transferred, former Tigers, then Orangemen, Jake Stevens, and the success that he had in his rookie
I was
year.
thinking Reed Bowering kind of similar, stepping in the playoffs.
Just
and
let me have my Princeton to Syracuse to PLL moment, Jesus. So you look at Jake Stevens and how he performed in his rookie year, and then Sam English following, I think, a similar trajectory and having some similar traits, different players, but different strengths, but have a similar approach in terms of their versatility. I think he's a guy that his stock could continue to rise depending on his performance in this game specifically.
One other kind of important thing coming from Long Island, piece of news, and someone we're thinking about, Joseph Maroney got tipped off to this by a fellow mom in the community. She went to Hofstra, and so she got to know a lot of the kids. He actually had leukemia when he was 7 years old. He's a high school lacrosse player out on Long Island. He is now battling cancer again, so our thoughts are with him as he heads to radiation. Really cool. Through the lacrosse community, this mom let me know, and I was able to get in touch with the Kavanaugh family, and Chris Kavanaugh sent an awesome video. The kid's a huge Chris Kavanaugh fan, so Joseph, hopefully got that video and brought a smile to his face, and working on getting some more of the lacrosse community, give him a shout out. But certainly thinking about Joseph and his fight, and I know a lot of people on Long Island are rooting for him and cheering for him this weekend.